everyone. Welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Joining us, as always, is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the internet, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. We are so glad you decided to make us part of your day. And
also here, writer-director John Schnepp.
What's going on, everybody? I can't see where I'm supposed to look. Right there, I guess. How's it going?
And also here, AMC's very own Miri Jetikin.
Hey, everybody. I was on AMC yesterday for the first time. That was very cool.
AMC,
really
for those who don't know what you're talking about, AMC Indie Spotlight, which is one of the new shows we've launched here covering all independent film. It goes online today. Keep your eye open for it.
Well, it's being reported that the third installment of the 21 Jump Street franchise, you guessed it, 23 Jump Street, is on the way. According to Deadline, 22 Jump Street screenwriter Rodney Rothman has been hired to write the new film with directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller overseeing its development. However, there is no official word if Lord and Miller will return to actually direct the third film. John, is it a good idea to do a third Jump Street movie?
There are two answers to this question. The first answer is yes. I loved the second Jump Street. The trailers looked okay, but I thought, oh, you know, the shtick is going to get tired and blah, blah, blah. Somehow, some way, Miller and Lord found a way to keep that movie feeling fresh. They introduced just enough stuff, carried over just enough stuff. Like, seriously, some of the funniest moments of the year are in that, whether it's, you know, Ice Cube freaking out in the restaurant. I think, you know, every once in a while I talk about how I've got like a top 10 list of my favorite singular movie moments. And the number one for me is always going to be Dark Helmet in Spaceballs saying, now you'll see evil will always triumph because good is dumb. Yes, but I think cracking the top 5, at least it's absolutely in my top 10, is that scene in the film when Channing Tatum realizes what's going on between Ice Cube and Jonah Hill. That scene, I thought I was going to pass out because I couldn't inhale. I was laughing so hard. Now, so the first answer is yes, it's a great idea. The second answer is also yes, but not as enthusiastic. Miller and Lord, look, I'm not going to go as far as to say have to be the directors of this film. I'm not going to go that far.
Go that far.
but I think it's a hit to the film if Miller and Lord aren't back to do it. I mean, we've just seen that Miller and Lord, everything they've cranked out so far, they're Christopher Nolan right now. Everything they have done so far has been excellent. And so if they're not attached to it, that will dampen my enthusiasm a bit. But then it all depends on who do they get in next and all that kind of crap. And they are overseeing the script, so that's good too. But I mean, overall, I think this is great news, Schnepp.
It could just be a scheduling thing. Like, they want to make the sequel, but they've already, scheduled out they're going to direct and oversee.
I don't want their excuses, Schnepp. I want a good movie.
I'm just talking for them. They gave me $20. They said, look, Schnepp, try to make it sound better. You know, personally, I would love them to do 25 Jump Street. And
just skip 23, just call it 25?
To skip
awesome.
23 and 24, and then they'd have to go back just, as a little thing, and when you see the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It would be great, because then you could just go lose all continuity and just... I agree with you. I thought it was a great, really fun film. I loved 21 Jump Street. 22 I didn't like as much, but it was really fun. It was a really fun comedy. So I'm happy to see them do it again. I agree with you. I'd like to see both the directors come back, but if they don't...
I forget. Was 25 Jump Street the Culinary Academy, or was it Naval Academy? I can't remember.
I hope it was the dance one, because that's the one I want to see.
There's so many of those. Miri, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm totally on board for this news. I agree with you. I think it would be great if Lord and Miller came back for the third one. I also like 21 Jump Street slightly better than 22. I think only because my expectations were pretty low going in. Because I had a lot of reservations about the film, and then I went in and was completely blown away with laughter. And it's proven to be such a great franchise in terms of delivering those laughs. So I agree, it would be nice to have Lord and Miller back, at least for the third one. Then they could make a nice little trilogy and call it a day and revisit it in like 20 years as a remake.
There are two films in the past like 6, 7, 8 years that I've been really, really, really wrong about. Like 2 films in particular that I preached for almost a year that were going to suck. One was the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek. I said this thing is a disaster waiting to happen, blah, 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 and it was awesome. The other one was 21 Jump Street. I said this is a disaster. I was not impressed with anything Channing Tatum had done yet up to that point. And it's like Jonah Hill attached to this, Lord and Miller, the guys who did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, even though I like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And that ended up being awesome, and let's see if they can keep that train going. All right, what's next?
Although plans for a sequel were announced months ago, Now You See Me 2 now officially has a release date. The new film is now scheduled to hit AMC theaters on June 10th, 2016. Mark Ruffalo, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Isla Fisher, Dave Franco, Morgan Freeman, and Michael Caine are all set to reprise their roles. Miri, will you be looking forward to Now You See Me 2?
Not particularly. I didn't love the first one, and I mean, it doesn't really matter what I think because the first one made money. It was a, I think, $75 million budget, and it made like over 350 worldwide. So it was a pretty moderate. It was a good success. I think it's great that the cast is returning. For fans of the original movie, they're going to get to see everybody come back, and that's kind of nice. They definitely left it wide open for a sequel. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending is certainly not conclusive by any stretch of the imagination. So the fact they're making a sequel isn't a surprise. I think everybody kind of knew once the movie was successful that they were going to announce this. It was just a matter of time. I'm just personally not that excited about it because I didn't really love the first one. So.
I'll go a little bit further. I didn't like the first one. Yeah. I didn't hate it. I did not hate it, but I walked out dissatisfied. I thought they took what could have been really, really cool about pulling off illusions, and they went too far with them to the part where it's like, okay, there is no way they could have done that. So now they're getting into, you know, they're getting into science fiction at this point. But still, I kind of feel the same way about the now franchise as I did about the first Underworld. Remember I always talk about how the first Underworld, it didn't really work for me, but I love the world they were creating and the potential of it, so I was excited about a sequel. I kind of feel the same way here. I didn't like the first film, but this whole concept of 4 real-world, grounded in reality illusionists pulling off capers and all that kind of stuff. I love heist films.
It's great.
On paper, it's great. So I'm very, very curious, actually, even though I didn't like the first film, to go, I want to see if they can do better with this great concept with a second one. So, yeah, sign me up, Schnepp.
I'll have to say, I just never even saw the first one. So I guess when the second one comes out, I'll see the first one just so I can compare them. You know.
All right.
Fair enough.
Well, we've reached that part of the show for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Speaking of new release dates, the upcoming film Dirty Grandpa is set to hit AMC theaters on Christmas Day 2015. The film stars Zac Efron and Robert De Niro and is described as an uptight guy on the day before his wedding is tricked into driving his foul-mouthed grandfather, a former Army general, to Florida for spring break. Schnepp, buy or sell the sounds of Dirty Grandpa?
Before you answer, let me back up for how loud you're going to yell buy.
Okay.
Because I just know it's going to be really loud.
Guys, I just gotta say, I'm buying this! I'm buying this!
My ears!
Is that a typo? Is it? Did they say 2015?
I think so.
No, they did. I mean, it could come out next year. It's not. There's
Okay,
not,
it seems so far away for just a regular movie that they're like, man, wait till a year and a half for this regular film.
Far away.
Yeah, but VFX.
We only got 4 months left in this year.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's 16 months. I don't know. It's like they
No,
got
it's 2015. It is 2014 right now.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it's
just
not
saying.
16 months away.
You're just used to like Batman v Superman
I know.
and stuff taking 2
yeah,
years.
you're right. Anyway, I buy this because I love Robert De Niro. I think Zac Efron's an incredible actor. He's really turned it around for me, especially with Neighbors. So I'm really confident in his ability to be funny. And anything with like Bad Grandpa, Bad Santa, Old Grandpa, Old Santa, it just sounds good to me. So I can't wait to see this in 4 years or whenever it comes out.
Mary?
Yeah, I enthusiastically buy this as well because if I just want to see Zac Efron do De Niro to De Niro because he did it so well in Neighbors. I would love to see that. They have to do that in this movie. If they don't do it, I will be very, very upset. I will demand my ticket money back. But I think it's a great premise, and I think De Niro is great at comedy. We forget that like King of Comedy came out in the early '80s, and he just murdered that movie and proved that he could do comedy. And ever since then, he's been pretty much consistent in proving that he has comedic timing and that he's a genius comedic actor. So hopefully this is that movie where you see it and you're like, yes, De Niro does comedy, and I love it, and I think Zac Efron's talented, and I'm excited to see it. So
I've only seen. I mean, I think we've only seen De Niro be funny twice in the past 12 years. That first. Analyze This he did with Billy Crystal. The second one was an abomination, which is terrible. And then the first Meet the Parents, I thought was great. But
it's
then the
just
sequels,
a game, fucker. It's so good.
The sequels, that's where, look, I'm going to buy this, but just tentatively. On the talent side, I love it. Look, I said it before, I will say again, everybody says, oh, it can't be, you're losing credibility when you say that. Yeah, well, they said the same thing when I said this about Matthew McConaughey for the past 6 or 7 years. I always used to say, trust me, folks, McConaughey is the real deal. Yeah. This is back when he was doing Failure to Launch and all that crap. Said, don't mistake him doing bad movies with him being a bad actor. This guy has world-class talent, and everybody would mock me and yell at me. Well, look at where we're at now. Everybody's talking about the McConaissance, and everybody wants McConaughey and everything. I'm telling you the exact same thing about Zac Efron. This dude has chops. Has he always been in the best films again?
But
16
he's just
or 17
out
again?
also.
I can't remember.
Right.
Yeah, he is just starting out.
Right?
He's been in some bad things, but look, I go back to that one I always talk about, me and Orson Welles. Go watch that little indie film. You will lose all doubt about the pure acting talent this kid's got. Everybody wants to write him off because he was in all those Disney films, the High School Musicals when he's starting off. Just forget about all that. This dude is for real.
So is Ryan Gosling.
So is Kurt Russell.
Child actor?
Remember Kurt Russell?
Yeah. Like, trust me, this dude will be for real. Yeah. And seeing him with De Niro, I didn't even think about that connection about seeing him do a De Niro to De Niro.
That's the first thing I thought.
That would be
so
worth the price of admission.
I didn't think
alone.
about that either. Now it's a triple buy.
The only reason I'm going to say tentatively buy is because I hate this title. It sounds too much like Bad Grandpa.
Yeah, it does.
It's, you know, and even the fact that this is a narrative story as opposed to kind of a mocky thing that Bad Grandpa was, even reading it kind of feels like this is Bad Grandpa too. I'm expecting to see Johnny Knoxville picture in the middle there. So, but I'm still going to tentatively buy it. All right, what's next?
Well, at the Toronto International Film Festival, Spider-Man actor Andrew Garfield was asked about his possible involvement in the upcoming Sinister Six movie. He replied with the following: I know more than I'm allowed to say right now. I can say I'm really excited about Drew Goddard, who's going to be writing and directing. Whether I'm involved in that or not is kind of immaterial. John, buy or sell that Garfield will be in Sinister Six?
I absolutely buy it. He will be in Sinister Six. Sony needs Spider-Man to be in Sinister Six. And the other things, too, if he wasn't going to be in Sinister Six, he's just saying, no, I'm not in it, blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't be coy. Plus, like, contrary to what a lot of people believe about actors in Hollywood films, the studios and directors don't go out and talk to the actors about the movies and get their impression and feel of it. If Garfield was not in Sinister Six, they wouldn't tell him word one about Sinister Six. He wouldn't be privy to that. Now, that makes then the question, how much will he be in Sinister Six? That's certainly up for debate. It might be 5 minutes, it might be an hour, I don't know. But for me, I completely buy that he will be in it. Mary, what do you think?
Yeah, I also think just from a story perspective, in order to have tension and conflict, Sinister Six kind of needs something, especially if this is like an origin story, kind of needs maybe a galvanizing force. They need a common enemy. They need somebody to pull them together. So it would make sense from a story standpoint to maybe have Spider-Man be even a small part of the story just to kick things off, to get them, you know, I don't know what the script's going to look like, but I would imagine that they do kind of need to have him as some sort of a common enemy. Like they're not fans of Spider-Man and Sinister Six. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I could kind of see that happening.
I don't think the Sinister Six are banding together to fight against neighborhood hunger. So anyway.
Yes.
I think Sinister Six will probably be like Spider-Man will be the peripheral, as in like, if you just flip the roles, it'll be like, oh, he's like Doc Ock, or he's like Electro, or he's like the Lizard. He'll be in a few scenes, and the rest of it will be the formation of this is my guess. And I'm still really excited about Sinister Six. 2 words, Drew Goddard. That's the 2 words that only have turned me around. I know everyone knows about like how I feel about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm saying Drew Goddard can definitely turn this entire franchise around. Give him the freedom and the flexibility to do it. So.
Yeah, give him the reins.
Yeah, give him the
key
reins.
Things here. All right, what's next?
Batman vs. Superman doesn't hit AMC theaters for another 18 months, but shooting continues on the film, and now new pictures of the Batmobile have surfaced online, which you can see here. Mary, buy or sell these images of the Batmobile?
Can I get one? I buy it. I buy this. I mean, look at that thing. It's awesome. Dirty, and it's dark, and it's really streamlined. It looks hungry.
It looks hungry. I like that. That's a great description.
It's like a hungry tumbler. You know, like the tumblers were so fat and meaty, and like they took up so much road. This looks so lean and mean, and I feel like hopefully this is a symbol of the movie itself, that it's also kind of lean and mean and hungry and has that dark, kind of dirty quality. So I'm in.
Snap?
Yeah, I like your descriptions. I'll plus it by saying it's kind of like insectoid, like little like waspy wing type. It definitely, but it still has the thickness of the tumbler. It definitely looks like a Batmobile.
Yeah, for sure.
It has that flavor. So, I mean, if we're gonna get all excited about a picture of a car, that's the kind of car to get excited about. So,
I'm gonna sell it.
John.
Wait a minute. The reason I'm going to sell it is, remember when we had that other picture from Batman v Superman? It was the door to the prison. Like you said so astutely. But John, it's a door. People walk through it. I was having this Twitter conversation with a viewer today, and I'm like, look, I'm probably going to sell this later today because I just don't see. We've already seen a picture of the Batmobile. We already know what it looks like, and then this is what they said to me, and I choose to believe they were trying to be funny. Because I hope so, because it really was funny. Because they say, yes, but John, now it's dirty.
Yes.
And it's outside.
Which reminded me of when you said, but John, characters walk through this door.
That's right.
So I'm like, okay, I just don't get everybody's losing their minds this morning about these pictures of the Batmobile. It's like, we have seen a picture of the Batmobile
But John,
already.
Batman was in that.
And look, it's parked, it's got mud on it.
Brilliant.
What could have happened to make
Things
it
are
muddy?
happening with it. We know that.
So look, everybody knows I am totally excited for this movie. I cannot wait for it to come. Man, I got a lot of heat yesterday. Because I don't know if those of you saw our interview with the Russo brothers talking about Captain America 2 and Captain America 3, I kind of ended the interview saying, and by the way, congratulations on winning that game of chicken with Batman vs. Superman. Anyway, wow, some people lost their minds that I said that. They got so mad. It's like, dude, everybody knows I'm excited about this movie. I can't wait to see. I wasn't trying to hammer on it, and I'm excited for it, but I can't get all enthusiastic about every little, oh, look at this cell phone camera of something we've already seen. I'm already excited. This doesn't make me any more excited.
It's only because we have to wait 16 months.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah, not 4 years like the old grandpa or whatever that one's called.
You don't even remember the name now.
All right, folks, it's that time of the show for Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, if you're watching us live, we're going to save a few minutes at the end of the show to take some of your live Twitter questions. So if you're watching live, hop on Twitter and tweet your question to us at AMC Movie News. Make sure you're following us on Twitter as well. And at the end of the show, Ashley will pick out a couple of questions for us to address. But for now, let's get to the Mailbag questions.
Justin James writes, hey Movie Talk crew, my question, and sorry it's not movie related, is September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and I was wondering if you guys could or would wear a gold ribbon to help spread awareness. This past March, my oldest daughter, who's 4, was diagnosed with pre-B cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia. It has been a hard road, and watching your show has always been a bright spot in my day. P.S. I've attached a pic of my little cancer warrior. She's my superhero.
I read this email this morning. It was sent to me, and my wife had to come in the living room saying, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "Give me a second." Okay, so how adorable is that little princess? Look at her. Look at that smile. I only said yes to doing this question today because I'm not somebody who wears ribbons. I don't, because I think it just confuses a lot of people. But we do want to draw attention to this because this is. I wasn't even aware that this month was Awareness Month for childhood cancer, and even so, although I may not be wearing a ribbon. Look at that Spider-Man picture. Anyway, I want us to draw attention to it by featuring it on the show today. So, hey, folks, if you are like me and you did not know, sometimes we forget kids get cancer. And I know this is a movie topic, but screw it. I don't care. It's my show. I'll do whatever the F I want. I think this is worthwhile to bring our attention to. We forget about it. I didn't even know such a thing existed. And like I said, I think we often forget. I know I do. That little kids get cancer sometimes. And I think this is awesome. And thank you, James, Justin, for sending in this picture and sharing this picture of your beautiful daughter with us. That is awesome. So everybody remember, this is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, so keep that in mind.
I have just a quick question, actually, is if he could like list maybe some links under the video today of where people can donate or anything like that.
That is a great idea. So Justin, if you're watching this, please jump in the comment section, or anybody for that matter, jump in the comment section and please put in some links for us. That would be awesome. All right, let's move on to the next question.
Alrighty. Travis Ray writes, "Sup AMC, I'm getting into screenwriting, total amateur, and I haven't really had the confidence or format knowledge to jump right into it. I've had some what I think are good ideas that I want to get down, so I was wondering if I could get some advice or maybe a book suggestion I could check out to get me started. Always bring that filth."
I remember, I don't know if either of you guys took it, but there's a very popular film little program you can take in Hollywood that I know that a lot of filmmakers in town have taken, including, why am I forgetting Tarantino? That even Tarantino's taken. It's by Dove S.S. Simmons, so I'm sure you guys have probably heard of it. But I remember taking that program, and Dove Simmons said something really, really cool about filmmaking. He said, look, everybody wants to know what's the magic about movies. I'm doing a terrible Dove S.S. Simmons thing. Everybody wants to know what's the magic about movies. What's the key, the secret? Look, turn on a camera, put somebody in front of it, hit record, 2 hours later, hit stop, and you've got a movie. And I think the same thing can kind of be said about screenwriting in many ways. I mean, just, everybody's like, oh, what do I have to know? Forget all of that. I mean, I've written I think all of us at this table have written screenplays at one point or another. I'm still not convinced Schnepp has written anything. But I remember...
Charlatan.
Just start writing. And if you're worried about formatting, don't worry about it. The best thing you can read, if you're worried about formatting, is scripts. Grab a couple scripts and just read them, see them. And then I'm going to recommend a program to you. It's called Celtics. It's C-E-L-T-X. Now, the big de facto standard software that everybody in Hollywood uses is Final Draft. And it's good, it's cool, but there's a free program called Celtics that helps you with all the formatting, kind of does all that for you. It's great as a free thing. I believe you can even save it out in Final Draft format as well, in PDFs, I believe. But I would say read some scripts to get an idea of how it's formatted. Then get a free program like Celtics. I believe it's for Linux, PC, and Mac. And then don't wait for anything. Just start writing. Just write the worst crap in the universe. Who cares? Just start writing. But anyway, Schnepp, as somebody who's pretended to write a lot of scripts before, what would your advice be?
Well, as the great pretender, all I can say is Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, beginning, middle, end. Have good antagonists, protagonists. You can find so much stuff online for free by just typing in screenwriting, screenplays, stories. I would recommend Sid Fields. That's one of the
Foundation.
I read that several of his books in college.
That's great.
Robert McGee. A lot of people talk about his book Story. In fact, it was made fun of in adaptation. But I read parts of it. It's a fun read. You know, I didn't read all of it. You could skim. The other good thing is you could skim a lot of these books. Also, good books even for writing are cinematography books and storyboarding books. So you can start to think visually. Now, you never want to get too descriptive when you write a screenplay. Don't tell the people the camera directions or things like that. Usually that's shunned because that's for the director or the producers to decide how they're going to, move the camera around. Just worry about story. Just worry about the beginning, the middle, and the end. And the most important thing, you're correct, dialogue. That is
that's what Kevin Smith always says, right? Kevin Smith says, I don't know how to write a script. I just write dialogue.
Write conversations. A great book that you might want to read is called Save the Cat. It's by, what's his name? I have it. It's
I know the book you're talking about.
Anyway, it's called Save the Cat. The guy that wrote it has since passed away, but he was a big Hollywood writer. And Save the Cat is Blake Snyder. Save the Cat's really all about how to write a mainstream movie, not an art house movie or an indie movie, just to write a real mainstream story. He breaks it down into genres. He tells you like the 10 real genres, not the genres that we understand as filmgoers, but genres of scripts. That's a great book. That's a great resource. I agree. Reading screenplays is great. If you're an aspiring screenwriter, you can also go to theblacklist.com. It's very known in Hollywood. It's a place where people who are aspiring to be screenwriters who believe they have a good product can actually try and get their script on there, and then once it's on there, if you have a script that's blacklisted, you're basically going to get an agent. Like it's a really, really powerful resource. What else? Yeah, just write. I think that's the thing, right? I mean, I write every day. I feel like you just have to write. You just have to keep writing. Just even if it's outlining it, write an outline for a script, and it can be 110 pages or it can be 1,000 pages. You can cut it down, but I think that advice is the best, to just get going and do it.
All right, folks, well, I said we would leave a few minutes at the end of the show to take some of your live Twitter questions, and we're going to do just that. You might even have time to sneak in one or two. Just tweet to us at AMC Movie News. Ashley, what have you picked out today?
Henry Mertens writes, "Hi AMC, have you seen any old/classic movies for the first time lately, and did they meet your expectations? Thanks."
That's a terrific question.
I have one.
Yes, what?
I actually did see it, but I was really, really young, and I didn't remember that I had seen it until I watched it, and that's Paper Moon.
Ooh.
With Tatum O'Neal and Ryan O'Neal, and it's so beautiful. And I saw it when I was a kid, because it really is one of those movies you could watch when you're a kid, and I had no interest in it as a child. I don't think I saw the whole thing. So I kind of did see it, but then I revisited it as an adult, and it was absolutely beautiful. So great question.
I remember I went on, the problem is hard for me to think about lately is because I remember I went on a kick about 8 years ago about, I want to find all the classic films I haven't watched yet, and I'm going to watch them like all this month, and I watched like 40 of them that month or whatever. But the one that I was behind was Dial M for Murder. It wasn't too long ago, and this is like, I mean, every time I look at something, I'm like, Alfred Hitchcock was pretty much the man.
Yeah.
Pretty much the man, anyway.
Yeah, I'm mind blanked. I just recently saw a
I know
film,
what you
and
mean,
I was
right?
like, yeah, I can't think of the film right now. But give me a minute. I'll think of it. Go on to another
Meet me
question.
in
Next
St.
question.
Louis.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
William Billy Rock writes, "Who are some actors and actresses that have mainly been supporting characters but you feel should be a leading man or woman?"
The main guy, I have been talking about this for a very, very long time. A guy that has been a terrific supporting character. I always thought this dude can carry something. Is David Morse. And whether you've seen him in films like 12 Monkeys or the Jamie Foxx, Enemy of the State, I think was the Jamie Foxx film. He's been in a lot of stuff as like either kind of the gruff bad guy or the bad attitude, but he's a good guy, you know, sort of side guy, lieutenant of the police or whatever. He's this big. Most recently, I saw him in that Jennifer Garner film, The Strange Story of
the
Timothy Green. That's it, where he actually played like the dad of somebody. And it's like he's always so good, and he even had his own TV show. Somebody took a chance on giving his own TV show in the mid-90s, I think, where he played like a cab driver who would like help people who had problems. He was kind of like a one-man A-team, but he was a cab driver in New York. But he is a guy that when I see him in anything, my face lights up. I'm always excited to see him stuff, and I always thought he should have been a leading guy. So that would be my guy. What about you guys?
Somebody that just popped in my head is Kyle Chandler, because I haven't really seen him lead. I know he's done some big roles, but I haven't really seen him be like a leading man. Maybe because he's considered too old, or I don't know, but I think he's such a great actor, and I would love to see him do more. And of these sort of up-and-coming actors that are character actors, Scoot McNairy is great.
Oh, yeah.
And we know he's going to be in Batman v Superman. We don't know what his role is going to be, but I would love to see him lead a film because I think he's really, really talented and just really magnetic on screen. It's fun to watch.
I'd go with Nick Offerman. I mean,
Great
he's
call.
always played, a character actor in so many different films.
He's the lead in X-Cop.
Right. Well, that doesn't. I'm
That's
saying,
different, that's different.
as a feature film, I think, and I know him from Chicago back when he was doing theater. And I've always seen it. I've seen this other side of him that I love other people to be able to see, and that is, I think he can carry a film not as a character actor and not as a comedian, but as a real actor, and because that's what he is. He is a real actor. So I would say Nick Offerman.
I'm drawing a blank right now, and I shouldn't because we're friends on Facebook and everything. But the guy who played Kyle Reese in the original Terminator.
Oh yeah, Michael Biehn?
Michael Biehn.
Yeah.
I always thought, like whether it was in Aliens or Terminator, he even did that one, like, was it Navy SEALs he did with Charlie Sheen and
He was
stuff like that?
huge in the 80s. He was in everything in the 80s, but he was never a leading man.
Never
You're
the
right.
big leading guy.
He was an
and
alien.
I always thought he had huge star potential. And I remember for a long time, before they finally did the Patrick Stewart X-Men, for a very long time, a lot of the fan magazines, remember the fan magazines before the internet was real big? Whenever they did fantasy casting, a lot of times, Michael Biehn was, this is the guy who should be Cyclops.
Right.
This is Cyclops.
He would have been a good Cyclops, but I think maybe there was, I don't know, something happened with him in his
I
personal
think
life.
several things happened with him in personal life. I'm not privy to him, I don't know, but I just always remember that that's a guy who could have been, I thought should have been a big star. He continues to do a lot of little sci-fi
talented.
things.
Right.
Yeah, he's always at the conventions.
Yeah. I really
And
like it.
he actually is producing movies, like he's making his own movies now. He's like doing, I think he just did a horror movie with Danielle Harris, and he's doing stuff.
Yeah.
He's out there. He's just more underground.
And he was
now.
in the Tarantino. He was in not the Tarantino one, but he was in the other half of Grindhouse. He was in the Rodriguez Planet Terror.
Yes.
Wasn't he a cop in Planet Terror or something like that? Yeah. So we see him pop up once in a while in bigger major stuff, and he's doing a lot of smaller stuff too. All right, let's take one more.
All right, Wes writes, Stan Lee has had some great cameos, so I was wondering, what is your favorite cameo of his?
Oh, I think mine's the Hugh Hefner one, where he plays, which movie is that? Is that Iron Man? I can't remember, where he's Hugh Hefner. They dressed him up in the robe, and he's got the chicks. That's just the first one that comes to mind, but of course I can't remember which movie that was in.
I think my favorite was
so many.
The Amazing Spider-Man, where he's in the
when
library
yeah.
and they're fighting behind him. He's just got the headphones
yeah,
on.
He doesn't even say anything.
Yeah, this is my favorite one.
That's a good one.
I was probably going to go with that one myself. All right, folks, well, that'll do it for us on this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Thanks so much for joining us today. Listen, don't forget, lots of great movies playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for all your theater, your showtime, and your movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video, and you'll find links to our podcast feed so you can listen to us on the way to work, wherever you like to do. And don't forget, click the thumbs up button. Tell everybody about this show so they can become subscribers. Thank you so much for helping us cross the 200,000 mark the other day. The AMC crew actually going to go out tonight and celebrate that. So thank you to you guys. And like I've just become aware, don't forget that this month is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Spread the word on that a little bit too. I want to thank the people sitting at the table with me. First of all, our very own Miri Jedikin. Miri, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Miri the Jedi on Twitter and Instagram, and that's that.
And of course, the one and the only Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at John Schnepp and at TDOSLWH, and on Facebook, The Death of Superman Lives What Happened. I'll remember a movie later and I'll post it. I can't. That question is still bothering me.
I also have it on good authority that he doesn't actually even write his own tweets or Facebook posts, so whatever.
No, I do. I have my ghostwriter write those things.
And of course, our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you online?
On Twitter and on Instagram at Ashley Mova. Happy Wednesday, guys.
And you can find me online on all the various social media networks, just at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. So until next time, my name is John Campia for AMC Movie News. Until then, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.